ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا. ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه، ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي: إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا، وكذلك شيعتنا فزوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
پر محمد و آل محمد صلوات. نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے، نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے، نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے، نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے. خدا کے دین کا نا خدا، ہر ابتدا کے ابتدا، کرم کی انتہا حسین ہے. نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے، کیا حسین ہے، نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے. کرے جو کوئی ہم سری، کسی کی کیا مجال ہے، جہاں میں ہر لحاظ سے حسین بے مثال ہے. یہ ہو چکا ہے فیصلہ، نہ کوئی دوسرا خدا، نہ کوئی دوسرا حسین ہے. نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے، کیا حسین ہے، نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے. ہے جس کی فکر کربلا، حسین وہ دماغ ہے. یہ پنجتن کی انجمن کا پانچواں چراغ ہے. حسن کا پہلا ہم سفر، علی کا دوسرا پسر، امام تیسرا حسین ہے. نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے، کیا حسین ہے، نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے. حسین سے جو دور ہے، وہ سب غموں سے چور ہے. حسین کے جو پاس ہے، غم جہاں سے دور ہے. یہ دین جس کی دین ہے، جو زندگی کا چین ہے، وہ سچا کافیہ حسین ہے. نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے، کیا حسین ہے، نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے. قضا کے بعد پھر مجھے نئی حیات مل گئے، فشار سے عذاب سے مجھے نجات مل گئے. سوال جب کیا گیا ہے کون تیرا رہنما، تو میں نے کہہ دیا حسین. پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے، کیا حسین ہے، نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے. کسی کو حوصلہ دیا، کسی کو بخش دی سحر، دیے کسی کو بالوں پر کسی کو دے دیے پہ سر پکاری بند پروری لغت میں اہل عشق کی مدد کا ترجمہ حسین ہے نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے کیا حسین ہے نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے کرو گے گر مخالفت غم حسین کی یہاں وہ حشر ہوگا حشر میں کہ الحفیظ و الامان جہاں بھی چپنے جاؤ گے کہیں بھی بچ نہ پاؤ گے کہ ہر جگہ میرا حسین ہے نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے کیا حسین ہے نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے شہید کربلا کا غم جسے بھی گوار ہے وہ بد عمل بد نسب اسی پہ بے شمار ہے ارے او دشمن عزا تو مر ذرا لحد میں جا پتا چلے گا کیا حسین ہے نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے کیا حسین ہے نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے حسین حسین ہے حسین بس حسین ہے بنا الہ الا حسین ہے بنا الہ حسین ہے بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات
Let us all remembering all those in need of du'as, especially those of our brothers and sisters that have been in difficulties and tragedies in Syria and Turkey and everywhere else. For all those who are sick near and far, for all those in need of du'as, let's recite 5 times, I am yujibu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma yujibu al-mustarra iza da'ahu wa yakshifu as-su' أما يجيب مضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب مضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب مضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. For all our Muhammad's كل أرواح المؤمنين and شفاف مريض, for all the مريض, سورة المباركة الفاتحة. حبیب خدا ختم الانبیاء محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين العبد المعيد الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين صاحب العصر والزمان خليفة الرحمن إمام الإنس والجان ولعن الله أعداهم أجمعين إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الله وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وفضل الله مجاهدين على القاعدين أجرا عظيما. صدق الله العلي العظيم. First of all, let me send my Mubarak and my congratulations to the Imam of our time, our Mara'ajeh, all of you and your respective families. Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wassalam. May Allah bless all of you on this beautiful night, inshallah, and protect you from the hardships of this dunya. I wanted to draw a couple of lessons from the life of our fourth Imam, and naturally, when we think about our fourth Imam, we think about the plains of Karbala. But I wanted to talk a little bit about life post Karbala and post Kufa and Sham. We know that the Imam lived for 34 years after the day of Ashura. 61st Hijri was the day of Ashura, 95th Hijri was the year of his Shahadat. For 3 decades, he carried the gham and the trauma of the day of Ashura. He was born on the 38th year of Hijri, which made him 23 years old on the day of Ashura. Not very old at all. I'm going to paint a little bit of a picture for all of you in the beginning, and then, of course, get to my point tonight. And that is that when you examine what a 23-year-old went through on that day, and really the journey of Kufa and Sham, you'll understand the weight of the grief that he was carrying throughout his whole life. Him and Bibi Zainab, salamullah alayha, salawat ala Muhammad wa alayhi. They saw things and experienced things that even Imam Hussein didn't experience. And I'm sorry, a little bit of a faza or a pahlu or an atmosphere of masa'ib, I don't mean it to be. But for example, Imam Hussein never saw one shaheed beheaded. Didn't see one shaheed's body being trampled. But our fourth Imam saw both those things. Imam Hussein never witnessed the burning of tents, never witnessed the imprisonment of the women, never saw the journey from Karbala to Kufa, Kufa to Sham, but Imam Sajjad saw all of that. In fact, very famously, when asked what was the most difficult time in this whole journey, he says Sham. This was all in addition to watching every single member of his family, all the men now, be killed the way they were killed. To the point where on the day of Ashura, the Maqtal of Imam Hussein, we mentioned this moment of the passing of the imamate from one imam to the other, to be that moment where he looks at his father, and the Maqtal says doesn't recognize his father, to the point where he's shocked that Imam Hussein is in this state, where he says, Aina Abul Fazl Abbas. How could it be that you are like this Baba, when Abul Fazl should have been beside you? Where is he? It's heavy. And yet he's known as 2 incredible alqab, 2 incredible titles. One is Sajjad, one is Zainul Abideen. If you put these 2 together, they don't make sense to me. They don't. A man who's been through so much at such a young age, carrying that heart and that gham and that trauma, and he made it very clear, I'm not going to stop crying for my father. I'm not. To the point where his own ashab would ask him, Mawla, kab tak roenge aap? How much more longer are you going to cry for? And you've heard all these famous statements by Imam Sajjad about Nabi Yusuf and about all these things you've heard. But the point is, he was known as Sajjad. Sajjad is a sigha mubaligha, which means not the only one who does sajda. One who does sajda profusely is one who is known as Sajjad. Sajda, Sajid, Sajjad. 3 separate meanings. That's one title, meaning he's always in sajda. The second laqab he has is Zainul Abideen. Zain al-Abideen, the zinat, the ornament, the beauty of all the believers, he was known as. The point that I want to make tonight to all of you is this. I want you to use this celebration to heal a lot of pain in our communities. I can come up here and I can give you a couple of Joshili verses and get a few nanas out there and a few laughs out there, and that I can do that, and I can juggle balls, eat fire. I can put on a whole show up here. No problem. I can do that. You're dressed up, you're decked out, right? Every color of the rainbow is on this side of the church. Alhamdulillah, I can do that. Or we can use these celebrations to heal ourselves. A lot of quiet, silent suffering inside of our communities. I don't know how many of you mustered up every ounce of energy to put on your outfit and make sure you look good, and make sure you're matching, and make sure you iron your clothes, and make sure your distachio looks crisp. Like that kid who read Hezekiah, that distachio was crisp, man. Like that has made in Dubai written all over it. And he looked good. But I don't know how much energy you took. Because sometimes we don't understand. They'll walk you through that door, they'll have a smile on their face, salam, kya halekim, so you're good, alhamdulillah, boo, boo, boo. But inside what's happening, nobody knows. Nobody knows. 34 years of tragedy in the heart of our fourth Imam, and yet he did sajda profusely. Which means, it tells me this, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm way off here. Part of his healing, my youth, my young guys, my millennials, my late 20s, my early 30s, searching for some outlet for your depression and your anxiety and your stress, and it's rampant in our communities. Part of Imam Sajjad's healing was in his sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is that not what we get from his life? For him to somehow manage the weight of this tragedy, he turned towards God and worship. Yeah, tears was a huge factor. He cried and he cried and he cried, and he made sure that whether it was an animal being sacrificed, invitation to a wedding, there was never a moment where he didn't remember his father. That itself is an outlet. But part of it is the fact that the musalla, salat, prayer, sajda, became an outlet for him. Is it an outlet for us or not? Do we even see salat 5 times a day as a mental health treatment? Because our fourth Imam did. We talk about the idea that, there's still a stigma out there. I'm going to make a lot of enemies. I don't want to. It's okay. I'm leaving tomorrow. Don't worry about it. There's still a stigma about mental health. Malana, you're coddling our new generation, Malana. Jab bhi dekho anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. Har choti baat pe anxiety. Right? If you ask our elder generation, could you go to your father at 15 and 19 and say, Baba, I feel anxious? Acha. You feel anxious? Idhar aiye, zara sa, come here. What do you feel anxious about? Is there a mortgage? Is there a job? You're asked to do one thing. It doesn't mean it didn't exist back then. It did exist back then. There was no outlet to express it. But my claim, and I don't mean to say my, claim is that this is a human nature phenomenon. Crying to the level of that Imam Sajjad did Was part of his anxiety. Anxiety is not a negative aspect, it's a human nature reality. And in this world where we are constantly searching for healing powers, for a cure, something, what is your outlet? I write, I journal, I go for a walk, I go for a run, let's say, for example, right? I do yoga, for example. These are all things that help me, Malana. Or God forbid, I go towards numbing devices, drugs and alcohol and 7 hours of video games, drowning myself in disgusting content online. All this to numb myself towards my reality. Whatever it is, we're all searching for healing in this room. We all are. If the youth have their pain, our elders have their pain. And I'm no different. I'm immune to that. I'm not immune to that. I have had my tragedy. I still go through my hardship. Is salat, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on that list of an outlet for us or not? I want to examine that tonight. With the hopes that maybe if I'm able to do something for all of you, you have been incredible this weekend for me. If I can give something back to you, maybe one more outlet on your list might be God. It might be the fact that the dhikr of Allah, there might be this itma'inna al-qulub, as the Quran says. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'inna al-qulub. The dhikr of Allah, there is this itminan, this serenity inside the heart. Is salat that or not for us? Or is it a burden, a checklist, or God forbid, a forbidden act? For us at least. The verse I read for you, and it's a very beautiful verse, from Surah An-Nisa, verse number 95. The last portion of the verse, Allah has a very profound statement. My young guys, please, I need you tonight. Don't tell me that Deen doesn't have an answer for you. It has all the answers for you. Someone comes to Imam Ali, alayhi salatu wassalam, Allahumma salli. And they would say, Ali, if only, Akash, if only, this was in the Quran, and that was in the Quran, and that was in the Quran. And he says, all of those Akash, all of them are in the Quran. It's a matter of you understanding what's in that Quran. We also sometimes ask, if only Islam had this solution for me, if only Islam had this healing for me. All of it exists in the Deen. It's a matter of you approaching the Deen with the hopes of being healed. I said today in today's workshop, there are people, I tell you, no word of a lie. There are people who can't muster up the courage and the strength to change out of their sleeping clothes all day long. There are people who are carrying the pieces of their heart everywhere they go. They put on a brave face, they walk through that door, they smile. There's a khushali, there's a gesture, I have to come, I can't miss it. It takes a lot for me to get ready. So sometimes if the program's at 8, I'll start at 5 to start to get ready. Breathe myself to it, tell myself I can do it, give myself pep talks, iron my clothes, blah, 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 and still have a level of confidence. That's difficult, man, that's hard. Now come to the verse. Allah says, my fadl. وَفَضَّلَ اللَّهُ مُجَاهِدِينَ عَلَى الْقَاعِدِينَ. Let's start there. Allah compares two people. How many? Sisters? How many? Thank you. Two people. The mujahideen and the qa'ideen. Okay? The mujahideen are those who struggle, those who strive, those who work hard. And in Allah's world, that's the intangible efforts. The small things behind the closed door that no one else sees but you. The pep talk in the bathroom, looking in the mirror, you can do this, you can do this. People have social anxiety. People know that I'm going to enter right now this church or this building, and there are people right now who don't want me there. Or there are people in that room that I don't want there. But I have to somehow go. Why? Out of love of the Ahlul Bayt. That's a mujahid in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then there is a qa'id. A qa'ideen are the ones who sit around and do nothing. Look, there are some people in our life, I tell you guys, very blunt with you, There are some people that we believe do nothing and get everything. Everything is easy to them. They get married to the guy they want to or the girl they want to. Beautiful community wedding. Everybody's happy. The entire khandan, the entire family is there. They want a child after 3 years. They got, they have a child, no problem. A normal delivery, a perfect pregnancy, a perfect eight-pound boy, blue eyes, named Hussein, blah, blah, blah. Perfect. They decide after a couple years to go for ziyarat, they go for ziyarat. No problem. But they haven't gone through anything in life. And there are those who just don't do anything. They sit around and they don't do anything at all. No effort. And it seems as if from the outside that those who sit around and do nothing get everything in this world, and those who strive and struggle and really work hard get nothing in this world, to the point where people stop and ask themselves, does anybody see my struggle? Does God see my struggle? And this verse tells me that God sees my struggle. He says, فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ الْمَجَاهِدِينَ عَلَى الْقَائِدِينَ أَجْرٌ عَظِيمٌ. There is no comparison between the one who struggles and the one who sits. The one who struggles, from God says, I will give you an ajrun azim, a grand reward. There are struggles that you and I go through, that all of you go through, that nobody sees. No one has seen it. In this world of over-glamorization and posting everything, every little decision is made public. This world of the intangible, this world of the unseen, this world of the quietness is unheard of. But there are things that you guys go through inside that no one else can hear, and we think that it's being wasted alongside. It isn't. God's saying that I see your struggle. Not only do I see that struggle, I'm going to reward that struggle. Now, how and what and where, I don't know. It's impossible that you took all that effort to somehow get here tonight. Nobody saw it. Nobody can recognize it. But God saw it. You are a mujahid or a mujahidah in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That struggle is real. And in a world where we're looking for some sort of validation, someone to ask me how I'm doing, my husband, my father, somebody, some man in my house to come and ask me, how are you doing? You seem down today. Is everything okay? Can I bring you a cup of tea? Can I cook dinner tonight? Can I take the kids with me? You can have a night off. I'm waiting for that to happen. You'll wait your whole life. It won't happen. But God will give you that eventually. Because that's what Imam Sajjad did, right? Was he waiting for someone to come and somehow avenge what happened to his father? Besides Mukhtar, somebody come, talk to me about my father, tell me what happened was wrong. No, after that heinous crime the day of Ashura, this man led 2 years after that. Is God an outlet for my healing or not? Is he even on the list? Somewhere in between yoga and journaling, is God in there somewhere? Between a tub of ice cream and binge watching Netflix, is God in there somewhere? And does he deserve to be there or not? Does he deserve a shot? Because I'll tell you, the way that we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to be very, very delicate. Let me give you a hadith qudsi. Before that one, salat ala Muhammad wa ala. He says in his hadith qudsi, if I remember the actual hadith, أنا عند ظن عبدي بي. Allahu Akbar. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. He says, I am to my servant as they see me. There are some people who are convinced that God has an out for them. There are some people convinced I have a massive target on my chest, and God keeps hitting that target, man. Everything is so hard for me. Everything is so easy for them. And I'm the one that wears hijab. And I'm the one that does not do this and that and not that. I'm the one that has the beard and prays salat. I'm the one that watches everything that I hear. I'm supposed to be the good one, but I'm also the one who's struggling. They don't care about their libas or their habits or what they post on social media, but they get everything that they want. Why, God? And that's why I get phone calls. Can you tell me, Said Asad, why does God hate me? That's hard, right? 18 years old, 21 years old. And here I am, go pray salat. Go fast in the month of Ramadan. Take 15,000 and go for Hajj to a God that you think can't stand you. Say, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. I am to my servant as they see me. There are some people who do what's called confirmation bias. Every single experience in their life just confirms that God doesn't like me. If God puts a hardship in your life, see, I told you, doesn't like me. He gave my mom cancer. I had a miscarriage. After 8 years of trying, I had a miscarriage. After years and years of waiting for a potential spouse, I finally found somebody. We were clicking. I was good to go, but he said no, or she said no. See, God hates me. God can't stand me. And then there are those individuals who believe that everything they have is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ni'mat upon ni'mat upon ni'mat. Everything that they go through, shukr alhamdulillah, thank you God so much. He's been so kind to us. He's been so gracious to us. He loves us so much. It's overwhelming. And every experience, how bitter it seems on the outside, is actually something that draws you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am to my servant as they see me. How do you see God? Tonight, I want you to ask your individual question. Don't ask your kids on the way home. Ask yourself inside your heart. How do you see God? I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is not atheism. It's not atheism. I don't think atheism is a major threat to us at all. What's worse than atheism is to believe in a God and then limit him in his essence. That's more difficult. There's a term that this very church uses. The Catholics use a term to describe God that sometimes we believe in. Not us, I mean human beings. It's a beautiful term, a little bit disrespectful, I'm sorry. They refer to him sometimes as a divine butler. What's a butler? A nokar. Kaam karne wala. A divine butler. Meaning what? That when I need him, I call him. Come, please. This dua, this ilaj, this marriage, this child, this Karbala, this Hajj. You can go now. Divine butler. That to me is more of a threat than an atheist is. Meaning what? I become the master, na'udhu billah, ya Allah. He becomes my slave. It becomes a transactional God to me. Okay? Think about our du'as. Think about my du'as for a second. My du'as are not meant to be transactional. They're meant to be transformational. Meaning what? Sometimes, Hadith says this, half the dua is the dua itself. Ajib. These are your Ahlul Bayt, my Ahlul Bayt. Statements that are profound. Half the dua is the dua itself. Meaning what? Half the work of the dua is to identify if you're asking the right person or not. Sometimes when my modem goes down at home and I have no more internet, we freak out in the house because those bars on our devices are not showing up anymore. I call up the internet company. Press 1 for sales. Press 2 for tech support. Press 3 if you're this, press 4, so you're pressing, right? You end up getting some guy in India. Hi, my name is John. No, it's not. You know it's not John? I know it's not John. Come on now. I know it's you, Rajiv. It's not John, it's Rajiv. And sometimes you end up in the wrong department. Say, look, my modem light is flashing. Can you help me? No, sir, I'm in sales. I can't help you. What do? Go back in the tree and get to tech support. So for 10 minutes, you're trying to find somebody who can fix your problem until you get to the right tech support consultant and you say, look, my modem is flashing. Can you help me? He says, yes, I can help you with that. You're like, oh, thank God. That's half the battle. When we figured out that God is where we should be and we're there in front of God, that's half the dua right there. And sometimes to get there is very, very difficult. It's always meant to be transformational. You're always meant to have a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whatever that path is yours. But is He considered to be one of the outlets for you? Do you understand? Do I understand up here? Forget all of you. Do I understand that Allah is saying for 5 times a day, for 5 minutes, take a break from this world, go back towards me, refresh your niyat, and go back and re-enter this world again. Close out everything, face me, subhana rabbil a'la wa bihamdi, iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, and then go back. Is that a mental health treatment for us or not? It was for Imam Sajjad. I'll say it over and over again. We have to find our healing in the deen sometimes. As much as counseling helps, as much as journaling helps, as much as exercise helps, and all those things are great. I'm not saying anything against those things. I'm saying that what should be on that list is God. He deserves it. He deserves it. Because He's the one that says that your struggle that no one else sees, I see, I'll reward you as well. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, please. Point number 1. Point number 2. I was in India in December. My in-laws are from India. I took my 3 kids to go see their mother's side of the family. I'm a good husband, mashallah. I really am. Humble, good husband. Humility. So I took a stack of money with me. Good old US dollars. Green presidents I took with me. And we arrived in the Bangalore airport. I saw the currency exchange guy. I was told, you know what? They take a big tax in the airport. We'll find you some rupees when we get to where we're going to get into. No problem. Okay. So I kept my American cash with me. We went straight from the airport to my father-in-law's village during Fatimiyah. It's a village, legit a village. There's no currency exchange in the village. So I'm walking around day 1, day 2, day 3, not a single rupee in my pocket, but a wad of American cash. We're passing by these stores. My kids see these chip stores. They're selling chips. True story. We have all these amazing flavors in India. Magic masala Lay's chips, right? Imli Pringles, Imli chutney Pringles. I'm like, yo, I gotta try that, man. I like Imli, I like Pringles. Put them together. The problem was what? Didn't have a rupee in my pocket. I go, do you take, he goes, bhai sahab, yahan pe nahi chalta ye sab cheezein. This is not gonna work here. Every place has its own currency. Oh. And without that currency, you can't even buy a bag of chips. This dunya has its currency, the akhirat has its currency. God forbid we are roaming around in barzakh with a wad of dunya currency in our pocket. We can't buy an ounce of mercy in that world. What is the currency in that world? Look, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali alayhi salatu wa salam, Allahumma salli alayhi. I'm at 31 minutes. Where's my camera? 31 minutes. It's Saturday night. Give me till 45 minutes, yeah? Deal? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. That was my intro, can you imagine? Half an hour intro. This guy's crazy. Imam Ali sometimes describes the dunya in a very, very negative light. Okay? By the time I'll describe why, but okay. And you know enough to know what he means by this. Divorcing the dunya, as you've heard 1,000 times on a member, claiming that the snot of a goat means more to him, has more value than this dunya does. The rope he uses to tie his shoes, he says, this rope has more value to me than your dunya. That's all we've heard. But in the same Nahj al-Balagha, he praises this dunya. Talks about it to be the place where the wahi of Allah has been revealed. Talks about the place where the servants of Allah worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Refers to this dunya as a bazaar, as a marketplace. You can earn the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a beautiful hadith from the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I'm going to tie these things together, don't we? Hopefully at the end it'll come together. He says, لا تزول قدم عبد يوم القيامة حتى يسأل عن أربع. Oh. The feet of the slaves of Allah, لا تزول, will not shake. Tazulu zilzal, won't shake. Meaning they'll be coasting in the hereafter until yus'ala an arba. 4 questions are asked of them. That's when things get serious. The first question is, an umrihi fima afnahu. I gave you life, I gave you this umr. What did you do with this life? What was your legacy in this world? What was your footprint in this world? There are some people who pass away and their footprints and their legacy is very well known. Years and years and years after they've left this world, they're very much in this world. Then there are those who have done nothing in this world. When they pass away, you get phone calls saying, can you please come to the center? We need some bodies to help carry the mayyat. We don't have enough people coming. That's number 1. Number 2, وَأَنْ شَبَابِهِ فِيمَا أَفْلَاهُ. What did you do with your youth, my young guys? You were given Jawani. You were given a young life, that passion, that energy. Nothing hurts. No major responsibilities. No stress. At least not compared to the elders. What did you do with that Jawani? Did you waste it away in video games? Did you waste it away in just scrolling, watching monkeys eat strawberries? Those are cute videos, by the way. They're adorable, but please. Number 2. Number 3. وَعَنْ مَالِهِ مِنْ أَيْنِ أَكْتَسَبُ وَفِيمَ أَنْفَقَهُ. This wealth that you and I have, this wealth that we have. 2 sub-questions. Where did I obtain it from, and how did I spend it in this world? That's a tough question, man. That's a tough question. Did you lie and cheat and steal your customer as a business person? Did you increase your profit margins? Did you price gouge? Did you deny your employees their right benefits? Are you doing some shady business on the side? Are you investing in companies that you shouldn't be investing in? God forbid, do you not give your khums and eat the money of the Imam? Am I belonging to a profession? The Sharia says it's not a good idea. And where did I spend it? Are you spending it on your wife and your children? Do you give your wife her monthly allowance, her nafaqah? Tough questions. Long ride home. Do you understand that your money is her money and her money is her money? You get that? Are you using her salary to pay for the mortgage? God forbid. These are all things. Her sister's getting married. Did you go and buy her gold? A nice new suit? Or boy, purana suit hai jab 10 saal pehle. 10 years ago, that same suit you wore. These are all things that you will be asked about as men. As men will be asked about that. You're the wali of the house. I'm the wali, right? I want the walayat, right? I want to sit on my chair. Haan, bhai chai banao yaar. My chai, I want my tea, I want my tea. I want to be king. And God gave you that, gave me that. It's your kingdom. But don't be shocked when you're asked these questions that will make my feet shake. I gave you a beautiful wife. I gave you incredible children. Did you look after them or not? And finally, the fourth one that I give this zahmat for, وَأَنْ حُبَّنَا أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ. What did you do with the love of the Ahlul Bayt? What did you do with this love? You came here dressed up on a Saturday night, you look incredible, you feel incredible, you want to hear that shairi, you want to do the vava, that's beautiful, that's love. But Islam talks about mawaddat, not muhabbat. There's a big difference, okay? This idea of love and muhabbat has been cheapened by Hollywood and Bollywood. Running through the field, playing peekaboo with a tree. That's the love of Bollywood. Peekaboo the tree. The Quran talks about mawaddat. Understand what the difference is. The difference is that muhabbat might be love's bazi, as you say, a verbal proclamation. Janu, I love you. Acha. Great. She's asking you to lose 10 pounds. Janu, I love you. And you gain 20 pounds. Janu, I love you. Take your love and give it to your mother. I don't want it. So verbal proclamation plus amal is mawaddat. Understand that. Verbalize. Words are very important. Plus amal. Now come to the Ahlul Bayt. We love the Ahlul Bayt? Absolutely. We are the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt. We wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't the case. The question is, how do the Ahlul Bayt want to be loved by us? Because mawadda, if I can use today's terms to define mawadda is a beautiful Arabic term that takes really a half an hour to describe. I don't have that kind of time. Mawadda is knowing the language of love of your beloved. Understand that. The language of love of your beloved. Imagine one wife speaks Mandarin, the other husband speaks Russian. That's all the language they know. Not a lot is happening in that house because they don't have the language of each other. Love has its own language, Islam says. You claim to love Allah, but I'm going to set the terms of that love. Allah, I love you, but I'm not going to pray salat or fast. I'm going to do it my way. I love you, my wife. I love you, my husband, but every step of the way, I'll do the complete opposite of what you're asking me to do. I love you, Imam Ali, but I'll do things that will upset you. There are people every 13th of Rajab, I kid you not, I've seen this with my own eyes, that will hire bands and music and dancers and line the streets of their neighborhood, all in celebration of what? Mawlud-e-Ka'bah, the birth of my Mawla. They'll watch women dance. They'll have music festivals. They will dance themselves. If you ask them why, is that love? That's love. If Imam Ali was there, he said, la'anat on them. That's not mawaddah. An hubbina ahlul bayt. Were you an ornament for us, Imam Sadiq says? Were you a zinat for us? Were you a beauty for us? People loved us, but when they looked at you, they loved us more. Is that what you were? And some of you are. Many of you are, mashallah. Or were you an embarrassment for us? If this is a Shia of Ali, can you imagine the leader? It's tough. The same tongue that we recite mohas and qasidas and give speeches up here, fiery speeches, oh, what a great speech, Malana. You're a passionate speaker. The same tongue I use for this speech, same tongue I use to backbite, to ghiba, to gossip. The same hands I use to strike my chest for Hussein, the same hands I use to strike my wife. Sorry. Mawaddat is different, muhabbat is different. So my brothers and my sisters, my time is up. Two things. Number one, from Imam Sajjad we learn that he used God as an outlet for his healing. If you need to heal, we might want to try God as well. One tasbih, one dua, we are in Sha'ban, pick up Munajat al-Sha'baniyah, one line of it. Not the whole thing, it's long, I get it. One line of it and see, can it fit in my life right now or not? And number two is, you've come with the love of Ali Muhammad inside your heart. May Allah increase that love. May Allah shower you more with that love. But is there an amali portion or not to it? I ask myself that question. All of you are the ahli amal, mashallah. But please, let's think about these things. So truly it becomes an Eid for us. Not only an Eid of our libas, but an Eid of our souls as well, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our amal in the month of Sha'ban, inshallah, forgive our sins, elevate our parents, inshallah. We ask Allah, please, in this month of the birth of our Mawla Imam Zamana, that you make us those who are worthy of his arrival, and that we stand beside him when he comes. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sayyid Asad, my respected elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Sayyid Asad, I don't know, I think you left us all hungry for more. Just this morning, from the Renew the Self workshop, of course, and through these last 2 nights, I think no one will argue that we want more of Sayyid Asad Jafri here. So let's show our appreciation for Sayyid Asad with the loud salawat. Inshallah, we'll be able to coordinate your next visit here sooner than later. A few things I want to discuss tonight. We have a nice audience here, so this is good to share this information. Ramzan is coming upon us. We're just a few weeks away. And I know we're not in our mosque, so there's a lot of questions as how will Ramzan work. We're going to try to make it work the same way we did when we were at the mosque, which means that the plan for now is to have iftar here every day. The timing of the programs will begin around, we'll put this out in the next week, but this year Maghrib, from the start to the finish, will start around 7:30, and then closer to the end of Ramadan will be closer to 8 o'clock. So we'll have to try to coordinate and try to make the programs as workable as possible. But to make it work, we know many of you are working. In some households, both spouses are working, and with the kids' activities in school, we're going to try to make an effort to have the iftar here every day. Now, that said, this year will be a little bit different because we don't have a kitchen where we can cook. So we're going to have to cater. So what that means, I'm just sharing with you now, is the sponsorship for this will be a little higher than what we had when we were cooking ourselves at the mosque. So this year it's going to probably take more than the usual individuals who sponsor these iftars every year. And we'll all have to work together to make that possible. Again, this is something that we come together as a community to share the experience of the iftar and breaking our fast together. So please, I'm going to ask everyone to contribute towards that this year. Now, during Ramzan, we'll have other activities. So in addition to our regular programs, which I do want to share the speakers that we do have, I didn't mention that. For the first half this year, we have Sheikh Jafar Ladak from the UK who will be with us. And then for the second half, unfortunately, our speaker that we had planned, again, many of you may not be aware, and I'll share this another evening, not tonight, but there are many issues getting speakers from abroad. Just getting visas is taking a very long time. Many of the scholars that we're familiar with can no longer enter the US because their visas either expired and they're not able to get renewed. As well, some of them are just being revoked. So it's just the nature of the climate that we're in right now. All the Jamaats are facing the same challenges. So for second half of Ramadan, we're fortunate to get a well-known scholar who's been here many, many times, Sayyid Bilal Rizvi, for the second half. Each week, we're blessed to have this facility. If you really understood how lucky we are for the amount that we are being paid in terms of rent and the amenities that we have at this facility, this hall, the hall downstairs, where we're able to do our salat, the gymnasium, and all these classrooms. We want to take advantage of that in the month of Ramadan. So if you guys can put up the flyer that we have. Every Friday and Saturday nights here at the center. Oh, that's cool, you guys. I don't know how you did that. Very good. Split screen. Every Friday and Saturday nights, we're going to have sports activities. Will be one night dedicated and reserved for the ladies, and the other night for the gents. And you can see there's several activities here, and the signups will be posted soon. This is going to be driven by the youth, right? So I've talked to a few of them. As you know, the last year we've invested a lot of time and resources in getting some of our youth trained, the 14 to 16-year-olds who went to a conference, and as well our college students that went to the Simcoe conference. So it's really going to be driven by the youth. Brother Ali Abbas Rizvi, Ali Abbas Bimji, thinking of someone else. Brother Ali Abbas Bimji will be putting out, he's already started, there's a WhatsApp group, and he's inviting members who went through the youth leadership training, as well as other youth, because we're going to be really focused on this the remainder of this year. So more will come on the youth counts and other things I've talked about in the past. There's more time now that we can dedicate to that, so you'll be hearing about that. If you have a youth who's age 14 to 16, or if you're in college, we want you to be part of this, because it's going to be, again, like I said, these activities driven and coordinated by the youth. Later this week, Brother Ali Abbas will be putting out a notice. We're going to be gathering. We'll all go out for pizza, who's involved in terms of the planning and organization. So if your youth would like to participate and be part of this, please contact Brother Ali Abbas, and he'll make sure they're added to the group and they're part of the discussion for planning this. So again, I encourage all the youth to rise. Again, sign of a vibrant community is how active and productive our youth are, and we're going to put a lot of resources in making that happen. Right? Now that said, there's some kind of risk we're taking here with doing this program. And when I say risk, this is the part I need you guys to mute me off of the live stream. I don't So a couple of things as we're looking toward the future, because when we get back to our new center, things will be a little bit different. So this will make all our green people very happy. We'll be not using paper plates this year. We'll not be using paper cups this year. We're going to try to avoid that. We'll be getting proper plates and cups, plastic, not China. And we'll be washing them each night. So that'll save and kind of do the things that we're going to start doing in the future when we get back to our new center. All right. We're going to ask each of you, because again, we don't have a lot of storage here in terms of keeping things. Each night when you come, if you're joining us for Salatul Maghrib, you need to bring your own prayer mat and your own turba, your more. Okay? And please take that home. We can't leave it here. There's no leaving things in the compartments here in the shelves. We have to take that back every night. I've gotten accustomed to leaving mine in my car, just one, so that it's there when I'm here for Jummah or other things. So please start getting the habit of doing that. You have to bring it every night and take it home every night. Okay. The other thing that we're going to do, which is again uncomfortable for me, I'm not in favor of this, but because we don't have a place to store things each night when we leave in the kitchen, we have to ask you who's coming each night so we know we have the right amount of food. I'm not a fan of this. I don't want to do this. We don't want to do this, but that's necessary because we can't store things like we did at the mosque when we had excess in the fridge because we don't have our own fridge, right? So again, it's going to be an ask of everybody here that in the email, just let us know what night you think you're coming each week. You fill out, kind of like what we did when we were doing COVID with the takeaway, right? Just let us know which nights you're coming, how many in your family are coming, so we are prepared, right? Each night. What we want to do is coming up on the 15th of Shaban is try this because, again, we don't have our own kitchen, right? We have an arrangement locally, and Nergis Bai, I don't know if she is, her and I went to that kitchen and we looked at it, and it's much smaller than what we have. So we have some concern that can this be done? And we can't wait till the first iftar to figure that out because we can't go somewhere else. We have to make arrangements now. So what we'd like to do, and we need a sponsor to do this, is our 15th Shaban celebration. So 15th Shaban will be on Tuesday, March 7th. And we usually split the program into two, the Amal night, which will be on the actual night on Tuesday. And then we do some celebratory event where we have some dinner and celebration. That'll be on Sunday, March 5th. So what I'm asking for tonight, I know many of you are here, so before we leave, if we can get sponsors, because that's what it's going to take to make this happen, we're going to need sponsors. That's $2,000 for that Sunday. We're looking for a sponsor for that dinner. And that program will basically give us a sense of how it's going to work in Ramadan. We're going to pray Salatul Maghrib. After Salatul Maghrib, we're going to have our celebration dinner, and the program will be right before. So again, if there's anybody that can sponsor that, please let myself or Brother Shane or Brother Ali know, and that'll help in making this program come to fruition. Tonight, again, want to wish everybody a blessed Kushali Mubarak. I think these last 3 nights, having Sayyid Asad, as well as Maulana Sakawat, who hadn't been here in a while, I think added an energy to these events, and inshallah we'll have both of these speakers join us again soon. And with that, I'd like to wish each of you and your blessed families a Kushali Mubarak. After the program tonight, if you can please join us downstairs, we'll have some tea and cake as just again a chance for us to come together and celebrate this grand occasion. And I'll also again ask the men, please make way for the ladies. I know last night we were kind of clogging the hallway. We need to be cognizant of this, men. I think we need to make be aware that women need to pass to leave as well tonight as we exit. Give them passage first to go down to the gym, and then we can go down as well, or the ladies can go down this hallway, and then we can go down the back hallway if we want to make our way down sooner. All right, so with that, inshallah, we'll see everyone downstairs. Kushali Mubarak.
Can you get the wireless mic on, please? أفضل الصلاة محمد وآل محمد It's quite late, but I was told there's still 10 minutes to dessert. So inshallah, I am between you and the dessert. If you're with me, if you still have some energy left, please recite aloud, salawat ala Muhammad wa ala. We'll be following the rules. Please recite out louder, salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ala. I'll recite a couple of stanzas on Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, inshallah, and later I'll finish up with a few manqabas that everybody knows, inshallah, and we will participate together. वहाँ पे काबे का किबला, वहाँ पे काबे का किबला दिखाई देता है. इस शेर की लतीफ़े दिखाई देता है. वहाँ पे काबे का किबला दिखाई देता है. वहाँ पे काबे का किबला दिखाई देता है. जहाँ हुसैन का बेटा दिखाई देता है. ये तेरे छालों का सदका, ये सैयदे सज्जाद, ये तेरे छालों का सदका है सैयदे सज्जाद, जो आज चाँद चमकता दिखाई देता है. कि अली ही थे, अली ही थे पस पर्दा, हुजूर मत बोलो. अली ही थे पस पर्दा, हुजूर मत बोलो. तुम्हें नबी से ज़्यादा दिखाई देता है. सब मिलके जिना में जाओगे सजाद की रज़ा के बगैर, अरे जिना में जाओगे सजाद की रज़ा के बगैर, तुम्हें भी ख्वाब में क्या क्या दिखाई देता है. सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. मैं सुए करबला जा रहा था, मैं सुए करबला जा रहा था, पढ़ता सल्ले अला चलते चलते. इस शेर की लतीफ़े चलते चलते सब मिलके चलते चलते बोलोगे. मैं सुए करबला जा रहा था, पढ़ता सल्ले अला चलते. Brother, can you just increase the volume just a tiny bit? میں سوئے کربلا جا رہا تھا پڑھتا صلی اللہ میں سوئے کربلا جا رہا تھا پڑھتا صلی اللہ چلتے پی رہا تھا پی رہا تھا پی رہا تھا مودت کا ساگر آ رہا تھا مزہ چلتے چلتے ارے تو کچھ زنجیر یہ کہہ رہے تھے اے یزید اب ہے تیری تباہی جس کو بیمار سمجھا تھا تو نے شام تک آ گیا چلتے چلتے کچھ قدم شہر کی جانب کچھ قدم شہر کی جانب چند لمحوں میں ہی بخش دی ہے ان کی ساری خطا کرتے کرتے This is my favorite one, inshallah. پاپا لے آئے تھے ساتھ بھرنا میں مدینے بھی ہو تو آتا گٹنیوں پر چلتے چلتے میں سوئے کربلا جا رہا تھا پڑھتا صلی اللہ چلتے چلتے This is the time I'm going to get you excited on and say that's for your opinion and you're going to come back based on the وہ نور جس کو شہ مشرقین کہتے اسی کو نور خدا نور کہتے ارے بکھر گیا تو وہی نور کائنات بنا سمٹ گیا تو اسی کو حسین کہتے ہم حسین والے ہیں ہم حسین والے سمجھ پڑے ہم حسین والے ہم حسین والے ہیں ہم نبی کے عاشق ہیں ہم علی کے دیوانے ہیں اور حسن سے نسبت ہے ہم حسین والے ہم حسین والے ہم سے بات کر چکی ہے کی ہے اب ہماری جنت ہے ہم حسین والے ہم حسین سمجھ کے پڑھے لے ہیں ہم حسین والے ہیں یا علی کی مدحت ہے یا حسین کا ماتم یا علی کی مدحت ہے یا حسین کا ماتم ہر نفس عبادت ہے ہم حسین والے ہم حسین والے ہم حسین والے ماشاءاللہ ہم حسین والے ہیں ہم حسین والے ہیں دور تک گئے موسیٰ اور کربلا تک ہم دور تک گئے موسیٰ اور کربلا تک ہم یہ ہماری رفت ہے ہم حسین والے ہم حسین والے ہیں سب نے کیا پڑھے نام عباس وسیلہ ہے دعا کے لیے نام عباس وسیلہ ہے دعا کے لیے نام عباس ہے دعا اس میں اعظم ہے یہ مومن کی التجا کے لیے نام عباس ہے دعا کوئی مانے یا نہ مانے ہے یہ ایمان میرا نام عباس تو بخشش کاہے سامان میرا چشمہ فیض ہے چشمہ فیض ہے یہ در ہر ایک گدا کے لیے نام عباس وسیلہ کے لیے نام عباس باوفا کو بیمار مدینہ کی قسم وہ جو بیمار ہے کرم پہ تیرے پرچم کی ہوا تیرے پرچم کی ہوا چاہیے شفا کے لیے نام عباس ہے دعا جو آزاد عورت کو تڑپتے ہیں تیری آپ کو واسطہ شبیر کا مولا دے در پہ بلوا لو انہیں در پہ بلوا لو انہیں مجلس رضا کے لیے نام عباس ہے ہر دعا کے لیے نام عباس اس میں اعظم ہے یہ مومن کی التجا کے لیے صلوات علی محمد وعلی محمد الہی و بیمار دشت بلا ہو جلد پاوے شفا برائے امام زمان محشر سے دے تو امان کہہ کہ ہم یا علی مدولی زہرا شبیر زمان شبیر امام زمان صلوات صلوات جو نبی ہے بلند سلام یا امام زمان ظہور یا امام صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد وعلی محمد توجہ زیارت You gonna use this or this? This one? No.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين، وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذريتك علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن عجل الله فرجه وساح الله مخرج ودهوره. وسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.